We want to preview Kentucky now and get Tony's insight into this because
Yes.
Tony is fantastic. If you don't remember him, he's on with Mark Packer and does all that stuff. And he's associate head basketball coach during an incredible time in Tennessee basketball history. What do you think of the whole concept of it's hard to beat a team 3 times? Do you believe there's something to that?
Yeah, it's credibility to that. I mean, it's very difficult, and the reason I say that is because both of these teams are evenly matched, and it's a psyche that goes into it. When you're a competitor and you've gotten beaten twice, you put so much energy, so much effort, so much focus. The Tennessee coaching staff didn't have not one iota of anybody not paying attention to this scout. They each and every player was on point watching video. They taking their scouting report home and going over it over and over again. When you're a high-level athlete, a high-level competitor, you just don't want to lose multiple times to a team. Conversely, Kentucky is saying, okay, we know it's hard to beat a team 3 times. We could beat Tennessee. We know we can beat Tennessee. And they may come in with a tinge of confidence that that's false evidence appearing real, because it's not. And I really think, in addition to Tennessee's got some great players, I think that they're going to beat Kentucky. And I think it's going to be handily.
Tony, let me ask you this, just about the way Kentucky swept Tennessee in the regular season. They beat them by 5 in Knoxville, and then they won by 11 in Lexington. You and I talked the day after Tennessee lost at home, and I think you actually agreed with us and being a little bit critical of Chaz Lanier not being more aggressive. He's definitely changed. But I guess the point I'm getting at is, with the 11-point win in Lexington, does that sweep, was that a fluke, or is that actually a matchup problem for Tennessee, Kentucky?
I don't think so. I was at the game at home, and Kentucky controlled the game. I mean, and then I think we talked about ZZ shooting a lot of threes too. We just attempted so many threes in that particular game, and then that's just not our MO. That's just not our path to success to loft threes. I mean, obviously you got guys like Chaz and Gainey who'll knock down some shots, and if Igor is open, he'll knock down some shots and things of that nature. But I don't think ZZ should be out there hunting threes. And I think he should be trying to get downhill. Tennessee does really well when they score points in the paint. And I think that's the recipe to beat Kentucky. And obviously, Kentucky is not a good defensive team, guys. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, their record speaks for itself, the amount of points they allow. I think Tennessee's going to be able to score, and I think Tennessee's going to be so locked in, just like I alluded to that scout. They're going to be so locked in to taking away the things that Kentucky's personnel do well, and I think that's going to enable them to come out victorious.
Well, and everybody wants to say second round, Rick, which I think is unfair. But let's face it, Mark Pope has not had any success in the SEC tournament. He hasn't been in some of those really, really high pressure situations like it'll be this week. So I think Tennessee has a clear coaching advantage. What do you think of Mark Pope?
I like him. I like him personally. I think he's a solid coach. I think he's exactly what that fan base needed. I think they needed a little breath of fresh air from Cal, and I think he's brought a different type of approach, to recruiting, different type of approach schematically on what they do. And I think the fan base has embraced him, and they've had some good victories now. I mean, let's don't discount the victories that they've had this year. It's going it's going to be a tough matchup, but I still think Tennessee's going to handle it as it pertains to Mark Pope not having that DNA, that type of experience that Rick Barnes had, a number of NCAA tournament appearances. Let's throw that out the window, because the players is going to be the ones that make the plays.
Tony, I want to reflect with you for a minute, because you have experience with a team that swept a national champion. Your first year at Tennessee when y'all swept Florida.
Right.
And I think my understanding, and I wanted you to reflect on this for me, but if I'm correct, y'all could barely practice in March because y'all were so worn down, right? But y'all or in February, but y'all still found a way to get that win at Florida late. How did that happen?
That was a great victory. I'll never forget it. That was the game where Bruce soaked his shirt and had to take off it, and you could see all the perspiration all over him. And then a key call that BP made at the end of the game. We called 55 side, and 55 is our full court defense. 55 side is when we deny the ball in bounds on sideline out of bounds plays. And Dane Bradshaw made an unbelievable play. He got the steal, made the field goal. It put us up, and we were never headed. So that brings back memories, especially just watching that Chris Lofton documentary on SEC Network. I don't know if you guys happen to be able to watch it. It was awesome, and I don't think they had clips of that game, but they had clips of the game we beat Florida at Tennessee, where everybody stormed the court, which it was very special.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Portions of the program brought to you by Hound Dogs of Knoxville. Champions look good in orange. HDKnoxville.com. HDKnoxville.com. Use the promo code HOOK for 10% off. Sorry, Caleb, go ahead.
Yeah, so quick follow-up that, because we're talking about Kentucky, tough to beat a good team 3 times. If y'all had played Florida in the NCAA tournament, would y'all have beaten them a 3rd time, Tony?
That's a loaded question, Caleb. Would have been tough. It would have been tough. I mean, obviously they had all those pros, Joakim Noah, Al Holford,
Corey Brewer,
all those guys played in the NBA. Like I always said, the cream always rises to the top when the money's on the line. It would have been tough. We would have competed, but I would have went for the Volunteers.
Yeah, it's funny. You go back that year when, I don't know if you remember this, our old buddy Mike Griffith back in the day. Got Dick Vitale on. I think Dick Vitale was just using the restroom at his favorite restaurant. He didn't know he was on the air, and he said, "I'm just going to tell you, Horford's a lot better than Noah. Billy Donovan told me." He said, he said he didn't want me telling everybody, and he's on the air while he's.
Wow,
yeah.
I remember that. I remember that.
That was.
Cool. I remember that. Mike Griffin. Is he still working the Georgia beat?
He's still a goofball. I mean, just to be real honest with you, he was filling in for me that day, and my phone started blowing up because I was under the weather, and I was like, "What's he done?" He couldn't just go do a 2-hour show and it be uneventful. What are some key matchups you think with this Tennessee Kentucky game? What are some key players for those that maybe have seen Kentucky on a limited basis?
Always, being able to stop always going to be key. Richards is. I still don't think he's back to 100%. The guard that I'm talking about, the guard I'm talking about.
The Butler kid, or is it Turner?
Butler. Richards, I'm thinking of the kid from Florida, but Butler, I don't think he's totally healthy. I think that's going to be a key matchup that probably will favor us. Williams is a good player. I really like Williams. I like his ability to handle the ball, being 6'11", 7 foot, and, the way he's scoring around the basket. So I think Felix is going to have his hands full, but they're going to have to stop. They're going to have to stop 2 people. They're going to have to stop Chaz Lanier, and they're going to have to stop Mr. Gainey. And his contribution, he's not a guy coming off the bench. He's the 6th starter, and his contribution, it's going to be tough because he's out there, and I think with the coaching staff blessing, he's out there hunting shots, and that's garnered him a lot of confidence, and that's why he's proven to be one of the better offensive players for the Volunteers this year.
Portions of the program brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Design. They want to be your jeweler. Looking for affordable game day jewelry, a Tennessee tradition. RickTerryJewelry.com. RickTerryJewelry.com. Caleb?
Tony, so we talked about this yesterday, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because the resident Pistons fan on the show, I'm sure remembers the Rasheed Wallace guarantees back in the day. And so Lamont Butler saying that we're battle tested and we're going to win. That's what he said about Kentucky facing Tennessee. Him saying that, is that him just trying to preach confidence to himself, or is he a future Rasheed Wallace? This is a Rasheed Wallace moment.
And sometimes, and I don't know if you guys are big boxing fans, sometimes boxers make those statements to try and motivate themselves and psych themselves up to think that they can win when they know they have some questions in their mind. And I would say the latter with the young man, Mr. Butler. I think he's got some apprehension about this matchup. And I think he knows Tennessee is very talented and Tennessee's very hungry. So obviously, on the other side, that's bulletin board material for the Tennessee Volunteers. They don't need any added motivation. They're going to be ready to play. That coaching staff is going to have them prepared, and they're going to put them in the best position to be successful. Mr. Butler is he's kind of scared there, Caleb.
Whoa, Tony Jones says Lamont Butler is scared.
Scared. All right, Tony, we appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. I do want to get together with you before, sooner rather than later, but you're a busy man. We'll work in your schedule.
Let's do it. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Gotta love Tony.
Have a good one, Tony.
He's a former associate head basketball coach at the University of Tennessee. Portions of the program brought to you by our fantastic friends at Where the UPS Store Hardin Valley, helping individuals and small businesses, wide range of products and services, locally owned and operated. The link is right down below. Caleb, I guess I'm going to sit on this. What was the word? Pulpit. What word would I want to use? Sit on this argument. I just think when you beat somebody twice in a row, you should have another level of confidence. Maybe I'm by myself. I can't remember exactly where you stand on that. I just don't buy it.
I just think it depends. Okay, you can beat a team 3 times if you're better than that team. And so, or if you match it well, so is Tennessee better? Do you know what this all reminds me of? I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Dave, do you remember the Titans Super Bowl run in '99 when they first moved to Nashville?
I do.
I don't know if people remember how they got here, but this is the stat of stats in the NFL. Somehow that year, the Jacksonville Jaguars managed to have the best record in the NFL without beating one team with a winning record. They went 14-2.
I remember that. That's when they overcompensated expansion teams, right?
Yes. And Jacksonville's only losses that year, the entire year, were to one team, the Titans, the only team with the winning record they played all year. They lost to them twice during the regular season. And then Tennessee went to Jacksonville in the AFC title game, and Jacksonville was favored by 7. And I heard constantly, it's hard to beat a good team 3 times, and Tennessee blows them out 33-14 to get to the Super Bowl. What we really found out was Jacksonville was a bad football team. They just played nobody that year, had the easiest schedule in world history.
So in other words, let me, if I can summarize, you think that Tennessee was just the Titans were a significantly better team than Jacksonville, whereas you don't believe Kentucky is a significantly better team than Tennessee.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
I think
I tend to agree with that.